Amazing grace of glory. We thank God for his mercies. It is another wonderful Thursday. We thank God for his mercies. We thank God for his goodness. We thank God for his goodness and kindness to us. Conquering tyrannic oppressor. And today we are discussing about Laban, the uncle to Jacob and a brother to Rebecca. We thank God for the opportunity. We thank God for mercy. We thank God for everything that the Lord has been doing in our lives. We continue to praise on. We continue to work hard. And we continue to grow. I told you, growth sometimes is by force. To grow, sometimes you need to force. Because you'll find there comes a time you are in stagnation. There will come a time when you are not developing, you are not growing. It is as if something is holding you stagnant. But it shall require a person of resolve. It requires a person with, you have to fight. And sometimes we do not fight. We do not fight because we didn't want to fight. But you find yourself between a hard place and a rock. That whether you like it or not, the pain you are going through will push you into reacting. You notice in this program, we are discussing about conquering tyrannic oppressor. Tyrannic oppressor. And we do not fight because we didn't want to fight. No. But you'll be pushed to a corner. Those who will go and make sacrifices. You get that? There are those who will apply different mechanisms of showing that they are rebelling against the tyranny. You can find yourself in a situation whereby poverty has gotten hold of your neck. Poverty. There are those who will find themselves in a situation whereby a disease is taking you to the grave. God bless you so much for the good work you're doing, Mary. And I am praying you and your children, may you know the goodness of the Lord. May God improve it now. It's because of rains. It is raining very much. There are those who the tyranny that is upon you is poverty. There are those whose tyranny that is upon you is incurable disease, different form of oppression. And you notice the pain that you are going through, the pain that you are going through presses you so hard that even if you do not want, you have to do something to free yourself. You have to do something to escape the situation. You have to do something to change the narrative. You have to do something to get out of where you are. And when you are doing that, that is what we call warfare, because you are going against the norm. The norm is poverty situation. You, your family, the shackles of poverty are upon everybody. You notice these are chronic diseases, incurable diseases. Everybody we has a cancer, HIV, TB, diabetes, asthma, arthritis, all type of diseases in a single family. It will reach a point you will call yourself to a small private meeting by self, and you shall say, this situation must change. This situation must take a U-turn. And that is why we are discussing about conquering tyrannic oppressors. And today we are in program number 7. Those who have been following, like Mary, who have been enriched to a point that you're saying, no, this one can't continue beyond here. Beyond here. Something new must be done. Something new must be done. And today we are looking at Jacob, and I'd like you to consider a word that is going to guide us. Remember, when we are discussing about warfare is all about rebellion and disobedience against the status quo. When we are saying that we are waging warfare, we are rebelling. It is a rebellion against the forces of darkness. It is a rebellion against the status quo. It is a rebellion against ancestral dimensions. It is a rebellion against world systems which are not really, which are really not working. Which really they are not working. And when something is not working, it is not working. You can't tell me something is working, but it is not working, because I can see it is not working. Even if you should try to create a narrative that is going to make me try to believe or to imagine, still at the end of the day, the result shall be it is not working. And if something is not working, then something needs to be done. Either to discard that which is not working and get a new version. If not so, to do repair works. To do the repair works. If you look at Genesis chapter number 30, I would like you to consider verse 25. After Rachel or Rachel gave birth to Joseph, notice this one. This one is very important. Jacob said to Laban, send me on my way so that I can go back to my own household. Give me my wives and children for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way. You know how much work I have done for you. That one is very important in our discussion today. But I'd like you to combine that with Genesis that one. Genesis that 1 and verse 6 and 7. This one is very key. It says, you know that I have worked for your father with all my strength, yet your father has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. 10 times. Imagine you are pursuing a marriage concept. You want to get married, and then there is a tyrant in you. Change that and stop us shortchange you marriageably for 10 times. For 10 times. By the time it is coming to release you, or by the time you are coming to react, because Jacob reacted at the 10th time, it is like when you're around like 35 years there, heading to that 7. So you notice you are now getting out of the bracket. Actually, you are already outside the bracket of marriage, unless you get a widower, or something like that, or a divorcee. Your marriage proposals 10 times, changing your breakthrough season 10 times. These 10 times are not in terms of 1, 2, 3. It is in terms of seasons. A season comes and then you are shortchanged. It is gone at your loss. Another season comes, it is shortchanged. It goes at your loss. Jacob experienced that under Laban until eventually, I want to go back home. I want to go back home. You know how much I have really worked hard for you. You know how much hard I have worked for you. Now send me back home. I want to go home. He was willing to go back home with nothing, but just get out of Laban's life. Understand this. It is going to take somebody to make a decision that you are going to walk out. You are going to free yourself from the snare, this entanglement. You are doing everything practically possible. Imagine you're in a church. You are spiritually mature to become a good pastor, but your spiritual father keeps on postponing your commissioning, 10 times. By the time you are coming to get the approvals, you are already outside your generation. You are already outside your age set. You are already out of energy and strength. For instance, most of the Africans, apart from a very few number, we mostly start from family background. Then we are brought up through education system, and then we enter into sin world. And then you are in the sin world, and then you get born again. So many people don't start the initial journey with God. They start with the family, that is traditional systems. Then you come to the sin, and then to God. And then now you get born again. Let me say, like when you are like, let me just use a very rough figure. Like you get born again when you're around 25 years. Or so it will take you like, let me say like 5 years to mature spiritual, something like that. So you are at age 30 or age 35, you are feeling, me, I can start a church. I can preach. I can do something. And then you tell your spiritual father, me, I want you to commission me, to send me. I want to go and serve God in a pastoral capacity. And he tells you, I will tell you when the right time comes. I will tell you when the right time comes. And then every time he tells you, prepare yourself. The time comes. Not yet. That way. And then you are shortchanged for 10 times. Take it like hearing. You are now at age 40. And then your spiritual father is shortchanging you 10 times. Those are 10 years. You will be coming to set up a church when you are at age 50. Number 1, strength is starting to drain you out. Number 3, you are already used up. You are already used up at the mother church. Number 3, you might find the generation that you were supposed to address has already transitioned. So it will be preaching to the long generation, so there will be no reception. Or else, you will notice, whatever you are preaching is out of date because it was for a season. So you are preaching the message of God, but it is not receptive because it is in the wrong timing. So you notice getting things done at the right time is very important. Let us continue supporting this program. Yes, let us today we can make it to 15,000. See, we can make it to 15,000 likes. I decree and I declare, Mary, wherever you are, may God visit you. May the presence of God called Laban. And remember, you tell me, man of God, those are human beings that existed during those days. And I will agree with you. Even Jesus Christ was a human being that existed in those days, and we believe in him those days, and we believe in him as God. Even Paul was a human being that existed during those days, but we are preaching his sermons daily. His sermons daily. He's actually they were letters. Paul wrote letters. So Paul wrote letters. So nothing is written in the Bible was actually a human-based whatever program. It is a dimension. That is why you notice there were so many people who were in the world during those days, but they did not feature in the Bible. So the people who feature in the Bible, if you read the Bible with the spiritual eyes, you will notice they were dimensions of life, either negative energy or times. When a Laban is in your life, financially, you get short-changed for 10 times. So imagine delaying the growth, your prosperity growth. Laban only prospers to your disadvantage. We shall see that as we go by. So who is Laban? Who was Laban? Who was really Laban? Let us just define this gentleman. Genesis 24 and verse 29. Genesis 24 and verse 29. Who is Laban? Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and he hurried out to the man at the spring. So who is Laban? Laban was brother to Rebekah. And then verse 33. Then food was set before him, but he said, I do not eat until I have told you what I have to say. Tell us, Laban said. So Laban is a marriage negotiator. Laban is a marriage negotiator. He is the one who negotiated for the dowry of his sister, Rebekah, who was to become the wife of Isaac. And this Laban, I've told you, Laban is Ananico, is a brother to. That is why he has authority over you. Jacob found himself under slavery. Let me call it the slavery. Under Laban for 20 good years. 14 years he worked for of his two wives, though he didn't want to oppressor by name Laban. Laban is a force or is an energy that is sourced from family setups. This spirit called Laban, and it can be in the form of a male or a female. You get me? Can it be an auntie? Can it be an ananico? Or whatever. It is a family-based tyrant. You need to understand that, and I'm insisting on that. It is a family-based tyrant. Laban is a family-based. Why do you only experience a failure and struggle? You might realize there is an energy, there is a human heart behind what you go through, but mostly we don't know what that human heart is until you get a revelation. And in most cases, when we get a revelation, but when the egg I meet any of them, they will always point to a certain person. And I keep on defending that person until now I had my own experience. And that is when I realized, yes, you can be struggling very much and away. Laban is not somebody that you defeat. That verse, though we shall get there later, in Genesis chapter number 30 and verse 27. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. I have run by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. Did you get that? So Laban is somebody who can divine to know what the kind of a person you are. What the kind of a person you are. Jacob thought Laban doesn't know who he is. But when Jacob was tired of the situation, was tired of being used by Laban, he told him, I want to go. But Laban told him, no, Jacob, I know who you are. I know God has been blessing me because of you, or on account of you, or through you. So you are the source of my wealth. And it is very easy to know when you're a tyrant in the name of Laban. Even in the places where we work, you will notice there is a single person in the company not paid very well, not paid well at all. Can it be in the form of like a gate man, or a messenger, or a compound cleaner, or can it be in any form? But that person is very close to the boss. That the boss cannot imagine sacking that person. Even if the manager would propose that that person be sacked, has no value to the company, the owner of the company says no. Very easy. If this is a person that knows the content inside Jacob, they use divination. They know Jacob. They use divination. They know they are benefiting from the energy that comes from inside you. They know how they use divination work to retain you, to put you there in a form of prison. Laban is telling Jacob, before you go, me, I am a diviner, and I've done my own divination, and I've discovered you are the source of my blessings, so I can't let you go. And he told Jacob, name your wages, so I will pay you, though I've been shortchanging you 10 times, but from now I will be paying you, but remain, but stay. Why? Because I want to continue prospering through you. I continue prospering through you. You get me? And I know there are people who can relate to that very much. There is a pastor in the church, that there is a person in the church has no spiritual importance or value in the church. And you notice this person mostly is like a cleaner in the church, or someone who cooks tea for pastor, somebody who wipes the table of the pastor, somebody who carries the Bible of the pastor, something like that. But it never grows, never progresses, never advances. There is no spiritual importance that the person is adding. That person has no value. But you notice a pastor retains that person, and a pastor can chase away a potential person only to retain that person. And you think it's because maybe they have come from a very long way together. No, the man of God knows what he is getting from that person. When that person is in redundancy, when that person is not in self-awareness, when that person doesn't know who or he is, he will continue to enjoy the energy that comes from this person. That is what you notice even in our workplaces. You can notice even that works in our own families. There is a family member who would keep a certain family member very close. And as long as this family member has this person at their side, this family member continues to grow, to prosper. And mostly they turn this person, the Jacob person, they turn this person mostly into their foreman. Their foreman. So you think it is an honor. You think it is, it is my brother or it is my sister. You think it's an honor. But they know how they transfer, they divert the energy from you to them. So you remain there, getting daily food, somewhere to sleep. Your children are being paid school fees for, so they're not being chased from the school, even if you're paying in installments. But you're saying, my brother is one who put me there, my brother. They know the kind of the game they are playing. It is you who doesn't know. Jacob found himself there under a tyrant called Laban, his own uncle, a brother to his own mother. Until we will make it to 1 million, we are growing, and our growth is not by our effort, our growth is by grace. So Laban, are you a tyrant called Laban? It is not, you mostly this you will say it, you will see it in a person, because I've told you those who have done a traditional wedding programs or systems, you might have noted that Laban, the description that I am giving, the description that I have already given in the last 39 minutes, you have by now noted Laban in your own family. And Laban is a single person who actually amasses every benefit to himself. Every benefit to himself. And Laban is a person in a family who believes in a family, who believes in a family, all the other family members are his subjects. Now you're getting closer. And Laban is a person that no marriage in a family can be concluded without their approval. I have told you he's a marriage negotiator. He is the one who negotiated for the dowry of Rebecca, his own sister. And we shall see that even in the life of his 2 daughters. He is a marriage negotiator. And if you are not careful, Laban does not get involved in your life to your advantage. No. They are a master investors. They know how to invest emotions. They know how to invest feelings. They know how to invest something that looks like kindness, but the leader is not kindness. We shall see as we go by Genesis 27, verse 43, 27, and verse 43. How do you get into the hands of Laban? How do you get into the hands of Laban? Genesis 27 and verse 43. Okay. Now then, my son, do what I say. Flee at once to my brother Laban in Haran. Then Genesis 28 verse 1. So Isaac called for Jacob and he blessed him. Then he commanded him, do not marry a Canaanite woman. Go at once to Paddan Aram, to the house of your mother's father, Bethuel. Take a wife for yourself there from among the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. Did you get something? How do you find yourself in the hands of Laban? Because I told you, every spirit energy or every spirit vibration you see in the Bible does not come haphazardly. There is something that it transmits that spirit into you. There is a procedure. There is a mechanism that is used. So you find yourself in the hands of Laban. Number one is through your mother's influence. Your own mother. And this mother can be your biological mother, or can be a mother church. It is Rebecca who told Jacob, run to my brother's house. So Laban will be introduced in your life through your own mother. How you relate with your mother, how you live with your mother. That is why God said, honor your father and your mother, so that it may go with you and so that you may live long. Number one, Laban will be brought into your life through umbilical cord. Okay. Number two, Isaac told Jacob, go at once to Paddan Aram, to the house of Laban, your uncle, a brother to your own mother. So number two, that will take you to Laban's hand. Remember, I want to put you in your mind a tyrant, an oppressor, but family based. So this is a tyrant who is in the line of uncle, auntie, that ecosystem. Not very far from your brother, your sister, your own father, your own mother, your aunt, your uncle. It is mostly around that area. It is things the dance is always around that area. So you go to Laban through your own father. DNA, decisions and choices and principles will ride you in the hands of Laban. Number 3, your own. So this is a blood based spiritual dynamics. You will find yourself in the hands of Laban through your own mother. You are running away from a problem and you go to a bigger problem than the problem you were running from. Why did they not advise him to go to Egypt like his grandfather, Abraham, the way he ran to Egypt during the severe famine? Why did they not tell Jacob to go to somewhere like Midian and stay there and try to do some business there until like 20 years ago? They told him, go to Laban. Family forces will actually surrender you into the hands of Uncle Laban. Who is Laban? Laban, as I've told you, is a diviner, is an idol worshipper. And this Laban, you saw that with the case of him and Lecho, when he was seeking for his idols, and his own daughter told him that I am in my menstrual period, so I cannot stand. And she was sitting on that kind of an idol. You get that? She was sitting on that kind of an idol. You get that? We shall see that as we continue. So, are you a Laban? And I've told you, Laban in your life will delay your financial prosperity with 10 times. Yes, Laban in your life is Uncle Laban. Laban in your life will shortchange your financial development, your financial growth 10 times. When Laban is given a permission to terrorize your life, he will make sure 20 years will go down the drain, working, number one, for him and working for marriage only. Let's consider now Laban, Genesis 29 and verse 5. Genesis 29 and verse 5. Where is it? This verse 5. He said to them, do you know Laban, Nahor's grandson? Nahor was the father of Abraham. You get that? Nahor was the father of Abraham. So they were three there. There was Nahor. There was Nahor. There was Nahor. Sorry, there was Haran. There was Abraham, and there was it Bethuel, who was the other brother of Abraham. In Genesis 11, there were three. There was Abram, and there was Haran, and there was Nahor. Yes, I was right. And there was Nahor, and their father. He was descendant of Nahor, and that those were three brothers. Their father was Terah. So notice here, I would like us to consider this man called Laban, and you will notice he is in your life. You will notice Laban is in your life, and I've told you the easiest way to know that you are under Laban. You are under Laban is that financial growth. This is very key. Financial growth delays with 10 times. So you can struggle. Praise Jesus Christ. When you are under tyranny called Laban, you will lose 10 years without any financial growth. Can we now unmask this tyrant called Laban? Genesis chapter number 30. Before we continue, I would like you, okay, I would like you to consider verse gapping. I would like you to consider verse 15. Genesis 29. Yes, many people are complaining about net problem. May the internet improve. May even this one I am using is saying like a poor what? I think because of the lanes. I think it's because of the lanes. So let us continue to tap. You just tap, you tap, and we are going to be blessed by God. Genesis 29. And I believe it's because Satan does not want you to hear this program. Pretty lioness. I think the devil does not want you to hear this program. Yes, you must hear this program. It is very important to you. And you shall see, when you are under Laban, what really happens to your life. Nash, let us tap this program. Let us tap it. Tap. By the grace and the mercies of God. Consider the following. Genesis 29 and verse 15. Laban said to him, I insisted very much in knowing who Laban is. I have told you, this is a family-based spirit. So you do not fight this spirit from your jealous neighbors. No. You do not fight this spirit from your jealous and envious workmates. No. This spirit called Laban, you do not see it in your jealous church what? Church goers, those who go with the church with you. You won't find this spirit. This spirit is mostly comes from a family. It is in the family ecosystem. You will find it there, and you shall see it. Look here. Laban said to him, just because you are a relative of mine, just because you are my nephew, or something like that, should you work for me for nothing? Tell me what your wages should be. You get that? So, key number one, Laban is a family spirit that starts. This is unequal to Jacob, but because he is a tyrant, will approach you with an employment program. Remember, I told you, Laban is a diviner, is a consultant of idols, household made idols. You got me? So he will always, and these are the kind of the people, they would tell you, me when I finished Form 4, the first job I did, I was employed as a maid by my own uncle, by my own auntie, by my own sister, by my own brother. You get me? So the tyrant Laban will always start by giving you an employment so that your mind may settle on, he is empowering me. You get that? So that your mind will not capture the intentions. Remember, we said that somebody can give you a gift to blindfold you from the reality. You notice many police along our roads, if you go and give them like a 50 bob, you have bribed that police, he cannot see any traffic offense that is being committed because the bribe has blindfolded him, has weakened him. So this is what Laban does. He gives you something that you so much need, a job, as a housemaid, as a shamba boy, as a caretaker, or as what else? As a gate man. But he is paying you, you are staying in his house, and he is paying you, you are eating there, you are sleeping there. So you should see this like another advantage. But Laban knows what he is doing. Laban knows what he is doing. Consider the following. Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder one was Leah, and the name of the younger one was Rachel. Laban is Ayusa. Laban is Ayusa. Laban is Ayusa. Let us continue. Laban replied, it is not our custom to give the younger daughter in marriage before the elder one. Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the younger one also in return for another 7 years. And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah, and then Laban gave him his daughter Rachel to be his wife. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her attendant. Jacob made love to Rachel also, and his love for Rachel was greater than of his love for Leah, and he worked for Laban another 7 years. Let us first of all discuss that portion. When you have a Laban in your life, this one is very important, and especially to many people. Number one, Laban, when he is in your life, you will always marry wrong person. I told you, Laban is a marriage negotiator, is a marriage influencer. Laban influences who you marry or who you get married to. If you have a Laban in name of a pastor, and you bring a suitor or a sweeter or somebody that you say, this one I want to settle in marriage with, that pastor will tell you he has disapproved that, and will tell you that is not your type. Laban always wants you to marry whom he wants, not who you want. That's key number one. Laban brought, Jacob paid dowry for Rachel, but Jacob gave him Leah. How many people have been given the long marriage partner by this tyrant in the spiritual realm of your atmosphere called Laban? You know this is the guy, you know this is the lady, but a certain force changes you and directs you to settle with an inferior person that you don't have feelings for. And you are made to believe that is your wife. That is the beginning of the many divorces and the single mothers we have in the town. You will invest your energy, you will invest your time, you will invest your effort in tracking Rachel. But Laban will introduce to you confirmatively. You don't have choice. You don't have choice to settle with Leah. A weaker marriage partner. A weaker marriage partner. And that is very dangerous. Why? Because your love will never settle on her. Even if the cycle with Leah, your love will never be on the Leah. Your love will always be on the Rachel. And this is the beginning of even difficult sorrow ties. You notice you are there with your husband, you are there with your wife, and you are engaging in sexual activities, the sexual intercourse, the conjugal right, but your mind is not with the person you are doing this with. Your mind is with Rachel. But the activity, the action, you are doing it with Leah. But the mind, the soul is doing it with Rachel. That is how Laban works. And I know many people got fixed by Laban. I remember of a gentleman, right now he's a pastor. There is a lady he wanted to marry, even he had gone and done marriage proposal. Husband, your husband is so and so. And the way, actually, I was a part of the committee member, of preparing for that wedding, of preparing for that wedding. And then the whole wedding was put in disarray. And that lady was married by another gentleman, and this gentleman was put under the bus. It was chaotic. It was chaotic. Whenever I meet with that gentleman today, he speaks the bitterness of that time. I told him, heal, forgive and move on. And the lady, she was told to marry another gentleman. This, because this is not whom your heart is for. Okay, something else. Notice here. Laban enslaves his own brand, Laban, enslaves his own brother. Jacob is his nephew because Rebecca is his sister to Laban. So Jacob to Laban is like his own son, but he has employed him for him to get something to eat. You will notice where Laban is, and I told you, this is a family born tyrant. Is a family born tyrant. This is not a neighbor's war. No. This is not a neighbor's. No. It has nothing to do with neighbors. And you find this spirit at your workplace because it influences your atmosphere. He worked for 7 years to marry Rachel. He was given Leah. Then Laban told him when Jacob refused to settle with Leah, he told him, "You work for me another 7 years for Rachel." So meaning Jacob worked for Rachel 14 years. But Leah, he was given free. Because first 7 years, Jacob, the agreement between Jacob and Laban was for Rachel. Isn't it? And then he was told to work for another 7 years for Rachel. So there is an official covenant, years 7 for Rachel. And there is love, years for Rachel, 7 years. So Leah was free given. So Laban is taking advantage of intimate belief of Jacob to Rachel to force Jacob to work for him to gain free labor. To gain free labor. Let me put it this way. Ananico, obvious. I don't know. Let me just use Ananico because this is Ananico, the description. Can he give you a job like a maid, or a shaba boy, or like a gate man, or like whatever, and he tell you, as you're working for this, I will take you to college, or I will find you a better job. But work for me as I look for you a better job. And you know they have the potential to get to that better job now. Or they can promise you, I will take you to college. But they never take you to college. But they sustain the promise so that you continue working for them. Why? Because they are gaining from your labor. Imagine 7 years working for women. Look at something else. This is Laban tyrant. And I'm telling you, you will not see this tyrant physically. It is the life manifestation. It is what happens in your life that it points you to the strong man that you are dealing with. And many people, the strong man that they are dealing with is family. If you are under Laban, you will notice you are always deceived. You are lied to and you get fixed. Laban has a tendency of conmanship tactics, uses conmanship tactics. So deception. Imagine somebody tells you something and you believe in it, as if you don't have your own mind to make decisions, make choices. May God bless so much. Deception is very primary. Where Laban is, he cheats you. Imagine, he cheats you as if you're a little boy, as if you're a young girl. Why did you deceive me? And then where Laban is, customary activities are observed. Laban told Jacob, it is not our custom. You get me? So Laban knows very well you are a believer. Laban knows very well you belong to God. You belong to God. But Laban will fix you on the platform of custom. Mwachamira ni mutumwa. That is the tyrant Laban at work. The Laban told Jacob, it is not in our custom. Okay, it is not right. But our customs compels us to do this injustice to you. How many people have been victims of customary practices? That our customs demands we do things this way and that way and that way, and you accept, but inside yourself you know that is not right. If you look at the instruction of Isaac to Jacob was in Genesis 28 verse 2 part B, take a wife for yourself there from among the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. Isaac's instruction was specific: get a wife, get a wife. But the Laban custom, dictated wives. So where Laban is, customs will work in a believer. Customs will work in a believer. And this is where I want you to be very specific about this. Where Laban is, whether you like it or you don't like it, polygamy will sprout. Jacob's was under strict instruction. Take a wife, not wives. Abraham had one wife in the name of Sarah. Isaac had one wife in the name of Rebecca. So Isaac is telling his own son, get a wife. But when he put himself under Laban, he got wives. 4. He was given Leah, he was given Rachel, and the maids Bilhah and Zilpah eventually became the wives of Jacob. And actually, like a half of the children that were born to Jacob were from the 2 maids. So Jacob had an instruction of a wife. He ended up having 4 wives. 4 wives. When the tyrant Laban is on you, when the tyrant Laban is on you, and you need to understand this, you will struggle with the spirit of polygamy. Yes, because Laban induces into you, whether you are unwilling, induces into you the concept of custom. And custom demands the first daughter is married prior to the second daughter. And because first daughter doesn't have a suitor, we give you that one to clear way for the one you want. And this now brought the issue of incest. It is getting hotter. So these are the things you should find if you are under Laban. Under Laban, number 1, customs will start working in you. Customs. Let us continue tapping and tapping and tapping. I told you, let your finger get tired by tapping, and then let your ears be attentive to what I am saying. Tap, 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 tap. Let us make it today to 15,000. Yesterday, we were at 10.4K. Yesterday, we were able to hit 10.4K. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you very much, Pretty Lioness. Let us continue, let us continue, let us continue. Notice here. So, if you put yourself under Laban, or you are put under Laban. Customs, yes, mira zitaanza kufanya kazi ndani yako. Customs will start working in you, and they work in you whether you are willing or unwilling. Number 2, polygamy. Polygamy will be introduced to you, because now Jacob has become a polygamist. Through who? Through Laban. It was not Jacob's choice. It is Laban's dictation. Number 3, where Laban is, you will notice incest will start cropping up. Incest is a sexual activity that involves same blood. This Israel with her own sister, Rachel, and they are sharing one man. That is incest. So Laban will bring that energy of incest, cross family members sexual intercourses, and we are having that very much in our societies, that you can even find a lady is in the church, she is in the church, they are under the same pastor, a tyrant, a dictator, but you find this lady will find herself being recycled by the church young men, by the churchmen. From these are all brothers, because you are under one father. So they are the sons of that pastor. But you find that will be slept with by 2, 3, 4 guys in the same church. Those are brothers. That is spiritual incest. If you go to the family level, you notice that is happening. That is very happening. That is why you are noticing there are very weird cases, sexual cases that are happening nowadays, whereby you can even hear a mother-in-law and a daughter, they are sharing the same guy. Incest. Laban brings it on board. Something else you don't notice, where Laban is, notice this, where Laban is, there will be raw quality sexual energy. Laban, and then it complicates your future. You can see that later on. Actually, those who mostly proposed for the selling of Joseph were actually the sons of Zilpah and Bilhah, mostly. Notice here. So where Laban is, you will experience high time wasting program. Laban works in causing you to waste maximum time. And let me tell you something. Laban centers himself in consuming your prime age. Imagine Jacob worked for this Aramean called Laban for 20 years. Imagine you are 20 years going into waste for only working for a family member, for only working for a tyrant. And then after 20 years, you want to become real self. You have already used your best energy, your best strength to the advantage of Laban. So when you are now concentrating on yourself, the best energy has already been used. So you are left with leftovers, which can only take you to a little far. That is why you notice after Jacob left Laban, there is not so much said about the achievements of Jacob, because he had already used his best strength to the advantage of Laban. Let us continue to tap. Let us tap and tap and tap and tap, people of God. Pretty lioness, let your finger continue to tap. Mary, let us continue to do the tapping and the tapping and the tapping and the tapping. Let us support this program, people of God. Let us support this program. Let us make this program viral. Let us make this program go viral. Let us make this program go viral. And I told you, you can continue to make your offerings for those who are blessed by God. You must conquer. This tyrant called Laban must be conquered. And by now, if you are concentrating, you would have noted who is Laban in your life. You would have known whether it is an uncle, natural uncle, or you have noted whether it is a man of God in your life, or you have known by now you would have noted whether it is a former boyfriend or a former husband. You get me? Or a former wife, or who is Laban to this tyrant? Can you consider Genesis, Gabi? Genesis 30 and verse 25. Let us get now it hot. People of God, today let us make it even to 15,000. Daily we are growing. Every day we are growing. Every day we are growing. Yes. Pretty and Mary. Let us continue to do this great work of tapping. Those who are joining us, it is good we continue to do the tapping work. Let us tap, and God will bless us so much. You can buy me a gift there, you can buy me a flower, you can buy me a gift there, or you can make your offering. Today we are talking about the conquering tyrannic oppressor. Conquering tyrannic oppressor, conquering a tyrannic oppressor by name Laban. This is Laban for you. By name. Let me just write something here. Yes, and Laban. Yes, tyrannic oppressor, conquering tyrannic oppressor, and Laban. Okay, look at Genesis 30. Genesis 30 and verse 25. Now listen to here very keenly. After Rachel gave birth to Joseph, Jacob said to Laban, "Send me on my way so that I can go back to my own homeland." If you're under Laban, you will experience destiny detention. You feel like you are being detained. Jacob is saying, "Send me on my way so that I can go back to my own homeland." My own homeland meaning destiny. You get me? But he's asking Laban, "Send me on my way." But he's asking Laban, "Send me on my way." How now? Jacob came. Why can't he just go the way he came? Because he is now under an authority. And you don't get out of an authority by walking out. There are procedures. That is why you notice after Jacob walked away, Laban chased him and overtook him. Yes. Because he had not broken the detention that was in. So when you are under Laban, your destiny is under detention. Something else. "Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served you, and I will be on my way." When Jacob is telling Laban, "Give me my wives and my children," how now? And he's using the word "my." So they are mine, but he's asking Laban, "Give them to me." Are you getting something? When you are under Laban, what is rightfully yours, you don't have the right of accessing it. Hi. When you are under Laban, let me take an example of marriage setting. When you are under Laban and you are a man like me, accessing your wife is in most cases prohibited. In most cases forbidden. So you notice you want to enter into your wife, there is an energy that is stopping you. Jacob is asking Laban, "Give me my wives, give me my children." How? They are mine. But he is seeking permission from Laban. How now? So if you're under Laban, you will notice you and your family, there is always a barrier of connectivity. You notice a husband and a wife, they don't integrate. You notice a father and the children, they don't integrate. You notice the wife and the husband, they are not integrating. They are not compatible per se. So they only have the sexual intercourse for childbearing, but not for intimacy enjoyment. That one is powerful. It's deep. Because how now do I go and tell Aniko, the Aniko, maybe a brother, let me put this way, a brother to my wife's father, or something like that. I'm asking him, please allow me to be with my wife and my children. How now? Unless there is an authority that is being applied to disintegrate Jacob from his family. You get that? That's the reason why we must subdue Laban. We must subdue this tyrant. We must subdue this oppressor. Something I have done for you. I've talked about that very much. When you are at the Laban, you work hard without pay. When you are at the Laban, you work hard without payment. Without payment. Okay, let me not insist on that. Look here. But Laban said to him, listen how we are flowing. Genesis 30 and verse 27. But Laban said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, please stay. Laban will always look for mechanisms of stagnating you. Jacob is saying, I want to go back home. But Laban is telling him, please, if I have found favor before your eyes, please stay. That's stagnation. Because inside you, something is telling you, I need to go to home. I need to go to my destiny. But Laban tells you, stay here. Status quo. These are the kind of the people, when Laban is on you, he makes you be comfortable with what is working against you. Laban makes you feel comfortable with something that is working against you. That is Laban. You. That is Laban. That is Laban. That is Laban. He has no positive agenda over you. He's telling him, please stay. Jacob has said, I want to go. Says, I have run by divination that the Lord has blessed me because of you. He added, name your wages breakthrough. You're gonna notice here. He says, I have learned by divination. So where Laban is, you experience divination. You experience false promises. You experience manipulated dreams. You experience concocted knowledges. You experience prophetic dimensions. Laban is telling Jacob, me, I am a diviner. These are people who always live scanning your mirror. They are a mirror student. They are always standing and running and synchronizing your spiritual realm. When you are under Ananico called Laban, when you are under Laban, when you are under Laban, one of the things that you're going to experience under Laban is divination. Utapatiwa mpaka unabii wa uongo. Utaambiwa maunabii ambazo hazina mbele wala nyuma, only to brainwash you and retain you, focusing on the prophecy you've been given, but it is not from the Lord, so it will never come to pass. And Koraban. And Koraban. And Koraban. Can it be in a different form? I told you, and Koraban can be your pastor. Or a pastor hapo kitabo. Can even be your own aniko, literally, literal aniko, brother, sister, father, mother. Can it be your boss? Can it be your former husband? Is there something like former husband or ex-husband? Or is it an estranged husband? I don't know. Or even your wife, the past wife, or who currently you are with. Tuendelee kidogo, tusonge kiasi. Notice here. Jacob said to him, you know how I have worked for you and how your livestock has fared under my care. When you are under Laban, notice here, your hard work, your effort, your diligence progresses and advances Laban. Can this be understood, people of God? When you are under Laban, you work, Laban gains. You pray, Laban receives. Okay. You work, Laban receives payment. Jacob is telling Laban, you know how much I've worked for you, and how because of my work, how your flock have fared. You keep on increasing. Came your flock. If you look at verse 30, Genesis 30, Genesis 30. The little you had before I came has increased greatly, and the Lord has blessed you wherever I've been. But now, when may I do something for my own family? Where Laban is, notice here. Laban can, let me use an example of a church. You can be in a church. You will be reading praise and worship. You will be reading Bible study. You will be reading announcement. You will be reading Sunday school. You will be reading junior youth. You will be reading youth. And the more you do that, that department where you are grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. But your life remains the same. Your life does not change. Hata kidogo. But Laban, in terms of offerings, in terms of opulence, in terms of fame, in terms of opportunities, and all that. You are the one who is processing. You are the one who is manufacturing. But when it comes to consumption, you don't appear on the table. You are just go. If you look here, Jacob is asking, but now, when may I do something for my own family? When you are under Laban authority. When you are under Laban authority, you don't do something for yourself. You don't. Whatever you do is to the Laban's advantage. What shall I give you? He asked. Do not give me anything, Jacob replied, but if you do that and other to give me that, and other to give me that, and other to give me that, agreed Laban. Let the verse that form, agreed, said that form, agreed, said that today, in this modern slavery, modern slavery, unaajiriwa kazi mahali fulani na mudosi amelipisha for your labor 50,000, but you anakulipa 12,000. Laban is still with us today, working for someone. They are only benefiting, but your life remains the same. You can walk with a man of God. You preach. Actually, when you lead the service, the Holy Spirit and the presence of God is much. And then after the service, you go home to sleep hungry. You go home and find your house has been locked. You go home to find that your children have been chased from school. There is a man of God I was working with one day and just come from preaching, and my house got rocked up because of rent balance. And when I told him, he told me to go and break the house. And I went, I obeyed. You know, obedience is better than sacrifice. Eh? I obeyed like a fool, like a fool. The next thing I was given was the letter to leave the house from the chief. Just imagine. A man of God, instead of helping you to pay the rent, he is telling you, go and break the law. That's a manipulator. Now, let us now finish this. Let us finish Kumaro. Pretty lioness. Yes, hit that screen. Touch it and touch it, tap it. We are making it to another 10,000 today. Today is a good day. Laban, we must conquer Laban. Genesis that 1 and verse 1. Jacob, that Laban's son, we are saying, Jacob has taken everything our father owned and has gained all of this wealth from what belonged to our father. Where where Laban is, you will notice there will be sentiment, family in sentiment. Jacob heard that Laban's sons are speaking ABCD against him. You will notice if you put yourself under Laban, the siblings, you will have issues with your cousins. Anasemaga na vile unakuaga na kiburi. Huyu hatakagi kushirikiana na wale wengine. Laban works in causing there to be a rift between family members. Laban will always set you up. Laban will always set you up to be seen with a negative eye by others. Something else. Jacob notes that Laban's attitude towards him was not what it had been. Where Laban is, we will notice attitude is always negative. Jacob noticed that the attitude of Laban threatening is not that person in that family. That is Laban for you. Because Laban has an attitude that is life threatening. And that is why you will notice return. You have the power to harm you. But last night, the God of your father said to me, be careful not to say anything to Jacob, either good or bad. So Laban is a live nigger. Laban was pursuing Jacob with one resolve to kill him and regain everything, his daughters, and to do anything to Jacob, either good or bad. And that is why you can hear even Jacob, when he was telling his wives, he was telling them, but God has been stopping Laban from harming me. There is a lady I was praying for, and she used to receive an attack from behind here, like an arrow would pierce her. And when that attack would come, she would feel like she's going to die. It continued for a very long time. And one day she went to a church, somewhere in a church, not in my church. She went somewhere in a church to her village. And she was called by the man of God. And the man of God told her that this attack you keep on having comes from a certain person in your family. And then she came and told me, I told her, I've been telling you about this all around, but you couldn't believe. And then I sat down with her and I prayed for her using the formula that God showed me. And to date, She is counting like now this is, I think this is the second year without that attack being repeated. There is a time she was attacked before me, and I was lost. I didn't know how to help her, but God encouraged me. People of God, we are dealing with the tyrants in our lives, and we must be more than conquerors. Let us make it to 10,000 people of God. So, attitude. You will notice when you are at the Laban, you will experience attitude that is life threatening. You can look at that person this way, and when you turn, you just start crying. Why did you feel that? It's because your soul is in the reality of what they have done to you. That is why you are crying, because tears are an expression of the soul condition. Then the Lord said, go back to the land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I will be with you. So key number one, if you want to conquer Laban, number one, hear the voice of God first. Number two, be with the presence of God. So Jacob sent for Leah and Rachel, and they came to him at in the field with the frogs and everything. Then consider this way. He said to them in verse 5, your father's attitude toward me is not what it was before, but the God of my father has been with me. But the God of my father has been with me. Okay, you know that I have worked for your father with all my strength. I told you, if you are at the Laban, your prime strength and energy, your vigor, your earnestness, your aggressiveness will be used at the somebody. And the somebody. And when the time comes for you to do things for yourself, you don't have the same. It's deferred 10 times. Your financial excellence is deferred 10 times. Imagine you were once working, things were doing quite very well, everything was up and running, and then Laban was introduced, and you have now struggling financially, counting years. The tyrant called Laban will sustain you in a 10 years period of financial failure. He has shortchanged my wages. He has cheated me by changing my wages 10 times. These are like 10 years. After 10 years are done, that is when you start seeing something like I'm starting to rise up, like I'm starting to wake up financially. What was happening there before? What was happening there before? As foreigners, when Laban had gone to share his sheep, Rachel stole her father's sheep. Rachel stole her father's household gods. Okay. Moreover, Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean by not telling him he was running away. So he friend with number one, start by running away. Yes, start by running away. How you understand running away? It means start by running away. Number two, may God be with you. May God be with you. The Lord is one who is telling Jacob, run away. But he's telling Jacob, I am with you. So make sure you activate Emmanuelism. Emmanuelism, God with us. And then, when God spoke to Jacob in Genesis 1 and verse 13, he told him, I'm the God of Bethel where you anointed a Peter. So if you want to conquer Laban, develop an anointed Peter. Why was God working with Jacob? Because Jacob had raised an anointed Peter. So you need to understand what that means. Number one, escape, run away. If he catches up, you just run away. That's the starting point, by running away. Number two is what? Number two. So that's why you notice God can keep you away from family members for a very certain period of time when you are working out on your spirituality. Number two, raise an anointed Peter. Raise an anointed Peter. Then number three is make sure God is with you. Emmanuel. That is why I told you, seek the voice of God. Let God speak to you. Let God speak to you. Consider the following. I want us to wind up. This is a very story. I want us to wind up. This is a very deep story about Laban. Pretty lioness. Mungu naye atakubariki sana. Na ninakutamkia hii ya kwamba Laban kuanzia leo atakaa chini ya miguu yako. Laban. God like us to wind up. And verse 22. On the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. Taking his relatives with him, he pursued Jacob for 7 days and he caught up with him in the hill country of Gilead. When Laban is in your life, he mobilizes the whole family against you. Yes. When Laban is in your life, he mobilizes the whole family against you. I don't know if you're getting that. When Laban heard that Jacob is pursuing deliverance services, he went and incited the other family members, and they made a unified front in attacking Jacob. Notice here. So Laban took his relatives with him and pursued Jacob. Did you get that? This is when you notice everybody in your family, where you come from, whether they are extended family, they are all speaking negatively about you. That is Laban energy. It incites other relatives, other family members, other church members against you. Just for pursuing. And Mary, let us continue. We are finishing. We are winding up. Notice here. So, your team is where? I don't understand that question. Your team is where? Where Laban is, this is very key. Your own family, your own wife, your own husband is criminalized. Now, Laban is telling Jacob, you are a kidnapper. And who is being told that he has kidnapped? His own wives, whom he had worked for 14 years. You need me to ask you for permission in about my family. If that is funny, that is Laban for you. This way you notice there are people you notice that are very much interested and they interfere very much with your internal affairs. You find a boss that he realizes you are married, your husband is going to pay dowry for you, or you are pregnant with your husband and your boss sacks you for becoming pregnant for your own husband. Yes, you find a pastor. He meets you on the road, walking on your holding hard with your wife, and that will burn pastor very much. And on Sunday, summons you in the office. What is that you were displaying there? Why is he pained when family is being romantically established? That is Laban for you. Laban will interfere with your family internal affairs. Imagine Laban is telling Jacob, you are an abductor. You are a kidnapper. You have taken my daughters as captives of war. But who are these he is calling daughters? These are Jacob's wives, whom he has paid full dowry for. So they stopped being his daughters. They are now Jacob's wives. Okay. If you ask me where I am found, I am here in Nairobi at a place called Utawara. Okay? Look here. Why did you run off, secretary, and deceive me? Why didn't you tell me so that I could send you away with joy and singing to the music of tambourines and harps? Seriously? A diviner telling you that? Okay. You didn't even let me kiss my grandchildren and my daughters goodbye. You have done a foolish things. You have done a foolish things. Laban will call your decisions foolishness. Remember here. Who told Jacob? Who told Jacob? God. The Lord told him in Genesis chapter number 31 and verse 13. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now leave this rod at once and go back to your native land. So Jacob is implementing a divine instruction, but Laban is calling it foolishness. Whenever you are under Laban, your choices and your resolutions are foolishness. Laban never sees any kind of wisdom in whatever you do, and will always question in a nullifiable and revoking manner. They will say what you're doing, that is nonsense. Can you stop it? That's nonsense. And it is a divine instruction. God has spoken to you. Do this. Laban will come to call it foolishness. I have the power to harm you, but last night the God of your father said to me, be careful. We had read that. Mazati. Now you have gone off because you wronged to return to your father's household. But why did you steal my gods? Laban will still accuse you of idol worship, while himself is the idol worshipper. Why did you steal my God? Notice here, he is the same Laban who has spoken to me tonight. Where you find Laban, you will notice fear. Fear will rule you, and forcefulness. You will take my wives by force. You will notice where Laban is. There are attempts, and sometimes successful, plundering you, taking something from you by force. These are the people who dream with somebody stealing something from them, taking by force from you. But if you find anyone who has your God, that passion shall not live in the presence of our relatives. See for yourself whether there is anything of yours here with me, and if so, take it. Now Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen the gods. This is very key. If you are under the authority of Laban, you make pronouncements of self-destruction. Jacob said, whoever will be found with your God shall not live without due diligence. Without due diligence. He hadn't researched. He hadn't investigated. He hadn't inquired of his family system. He just made a proclamation from a point of he knows himself. This is whereby you will notice a wife making a declaration. about her own husband without knowing the truth. You notice a husband making a declaration to his own wife without knowing the truth. You notice a parent making a declaration out of emotions, out of bitterness, without knowing the truth. This is why you notice a pastor can rise up and make a declaration of judgment against a certain church member without knowing the truth. And then when destruction has happened, that is when you come to realize the truth. And you notice you made a foolish declaration and it has led to self-destruction. Jacob, he has, you remember, he has not cut the link with Laban. He just ran away. That is why Laban is chasing him and overtaking him and catching up with him. Because the linkage is still there. There is no disassociation. That's why you need to do a service of dislinking yourself from Laban. So, Jacob, out of the pressure, out of that pressure, bitterness, anger, he is frustrated with Laban. He said what? Whoever will be found with those idols will be put to death. Little did he know that his best wife had stolen them from his own father. And when this woman, she was sitting on it, or she was in her menstrual period, after that menstrual period, Rachel became pregnant. And because there is a word of, if anybody have these idols, shall surely die. When she was giving birth to her lastborn by name Benjamin, she breathed her last. He made a pronouncement that whoever is Rab interfere. Will interfere. Will interfere. I told you he is a marriage negotiator. Look at verse 36. Jacob was angry and he took Laban to task. Laban, these are the people who have the issues of anger management. Anger management. They not have I eaten lambs from your flocks. I did not bring you animals torn by wild beasts. I bore the loss myself, and you demanded the payment from me for whatever was stolen by day or night. This was my situation. The heat consumed me in the daytime and the cold at night, and sleep fled from my eyes. It was like this for the 20 years I was in your household. I worked for you 14 years for your 2 daughters and 6 years for your flocks, and you changed my wages 10 times. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham and the fear of Isaac had not been with me, you would surely have sent me empty-handed. But God has seen my hardship and the toil of my hands, and last night he rebuked you. So much have been said there. When you are at the Laban, you repay for what you did not take. You repay for what you do not know happened. You pay for something you have not done. When you are at the Laban, you might walk empty-handed. Eventually, you might walk empty-handed. When you're at the Laban, I told you, your wages are changed 10 times. When you're at the Laban, you go through hardships. When you're at the Laban, you get consumed by heat of the sun. When you're at the Laban, you get frozen by the cold of the night. When you're at the Laban, you don't sleep. Sleep escapes your eyes. Fatigue and all that. When you're at the Laban, you go through hardships. You go needs. You don't have the authority to rebuke him. He needs a superior authority, God, to rebuke him. So make sure you are with the presence of God. Number three. Verse 45. Genesis 1:45. So Jacob took a sturdy keep watch between you and me when we are away from each other. Now they are to me, may the God of Abram and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge between us. So Jacob took an oath in the name of the fear of his father Isaac. He offered a sacrifice there in the hill country and invited his relatives to a meal. After they had eaten, they spent the night there. Early the next morning, Laban kissed his grandchildren, his daughters, and blessed them. Then he left and returned to home. Wow. Home. Wow. Build a pillar or build from Laban. Accomplish the purposes and the will of God in your life without Laban's interference. Without Laban's interference. So today we'll be able to highlight about Laban, and I've told you when you're at the Laban how your life will be affected. We have detailed it very much for the last 2 hours. And we have concluded by saying, how do you conquer Laban? And I've told you a very profound secret. You conquer Laban by separating from him. You will not defeat Laban by taking him to the grave. No. Separate. Let his energies, his influence, stop affecting you by walking away. And this one, you don't walk away as literally, you walk away spiritually. So you raise a pillar, you raise an altar as a barrier or as a Mary. I pray God to continue to bless you so much. Pretty lioness, God continue to bless you so much. Everybody who have joined me, those that I can see and those that I'm not seeing and those that I'm not seeing clearly, I pray that may you conquer the tyrannic oppressor called Laban. Yes, whether Laban is using idol worship, household godness is Laban. I decree and declare, let that embargo be removed forthwith. Let that embargo be removed forthwith. I decree and I decree under the tyranny of Laban. I declare Laban to quit. I declare Laban to leave you. I declare Laban to walk out of your life. I declare a total separation. Ministry is under the control of Laban. The control of Laban is under the tyrannic. May somebody say a very big amen to the victory of God. Victory belongs to God. Yes, He is our Savior. We have won the battle. We have won this battle. We have won. We are more than conquerors. We are winners. God bless you so much. God bless you so much for keeping me company. God bless you so much for allowing me to fill your atmosphere with the word of revival, with the word of victory, with the word of triumph, with the word of conquest, with the word of redemption, with the word of deliverance, with the word of salvation. I pray no one who was under my voice will continue to be at the Laban in Jesus' mighty name. My name is Apostle Joel Hapame. My number is +254 112 796463. I pray God to continue blessing you. If you are in a position to make your offering, it's good to make your offering and tell me, man of God, I am dedicating my Laban to God for defeat in Jesus Christ's name. And my prayer is that you shall come back with a very powerful testimony. You shall come back with a very powerful testimony. I pray God to bless you so much. This was ATM program. We were under amazing grace of glory. We are under amazing grace of glory. And we are manifesting the glory of God in our lives. May God bless you so much. Let us meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. sharp. as we delve into another tyrannic oppressor and conquer and defeat, so that we continue to be close to our triumph and our victory. Let me tell you something. This year, this year, this year, mark my word, this year we must triumph. We must conquer. We must win. We must excel. We must succeed. So do not look down on yourself, no matter what. Don't look down on yourself. Let us raise our faith to the highest level possible, because this year we must become magnificent. This year, successful. And let us focus on identifying that which has been defeating us. Let us focus on it. That which has been defeating us. And we engage in conquering it. And we engage in triumphing over it. And engage in defeating it. This time around, other years, we were defeated. This year, we are defeating what defeated us. This year, we are conquering. We are triumphing. In all these things, we are more than conquerors. Why? Because we are stronger than the strong man. God bless you so much. May God, and I pray, Mary, may you receive unexpected opportunities. May new doors open. May new doors open. I pray, may God bless you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wonderful afternoon. Wonderful afternoon. Wonderful afternoon. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you so much. I bless the name of the Lord because of you. And I pray, may you experience the blessedness of the Lord in a very, very, very big way. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., let us join hands together as we focus on another tyrant, and we bring down. The more we bring them down, these giants, the more we bring them down, the more we are rising to victory.